Hi guys, welcome back to Real Talk with Sachi. Thank you for your support so far. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about. Hmm, I'm going to be talking about. This is very controversial. It might be a very controversial topic, but I just hope that you people get the message I'm trying to pass. I am not trying to chase clouds, right? So, and this particular episode, I call it "Shut Out Everyone." Yes, shut out everyone. What do I mean by shut out or shutting out everyone? So, in my previous video, I was talking about, the sacrifices to the journey of success and how I made this decision to be successful, to pay the price, whatever it takes legally to be successful, I'm willing to pay the price. So, I also remember that I said that I started craving for success officially January 2024. This was a time when I decided to pursue my dream, my career, and I was willing to give in all the sleepless nights, the reading that is involved, the mentorship that is involved, submitting to mentorship. It's not like I haven't been mentored all this while, but there's a special kind of mentorship. So, and when I say shut out everyone, this is what I did. I did this in January. I shut down everyone. I shut out everyone, sorry. So, and what do I mean by that? So, by shutting out everyone, I mean we live in a world where sometimes when you have this desire or you have a passion for something, you are finding it difficult to know the right people to talk to, right? To know the right person to speak to. In my previous video, I was talking about taking advantage of your perspective, because you are the only one that sees your career, you are the only one that sees your passion, you're the only one that knows the extent to which you want to push your dreams, or to the extent to which you want to go for your dream to come true. So, and which is why in this particular video I was talking about taking advantage of a perspective, that perspective that only you see, only you know. You are your God, right? So you should take advantage of that, put in the work, because only you can build your own future, according to Barack Obama. So what I mean by shutting out everyone, earlier this year, January 2024, okay, before I even go ahead, one might ask, like, why am I doing all of this? It is my priority, or it is my utmost desire to document my success journey, my journey in life. I decided to document it. I'm not very good at journaling, so I do my own through video, through podcasting, right? So that anytime in future, I can always refer back to it and see it. So this is the reason every little step I take, I've decided to document it online. For someone out there who feels like perhaps the world is crushing or is crumbling, you're not alone. So I decided to document every little step I've taken, my failing forward, my success, my rejections, all of those things that makes life. As I experience each and every one of them, I've decided to document all of them. So shutting out everyone, which is the title of this episode. Earlier this year, I made that decision to pursue my dream in the media. So another point, I knew this is what I wanted to do, but I was so scared, right? I was so scared. What if I go in for this and it doesn't work out? What if I put in the money? What if I put in the work? What if at the end of the day it doesn't make sense to the next person close to me? What would I do? Would I be able to survive the pressure, the disappointment? And then, so as much as I was convinced that this is what I love doing, I was at the dilemma. I was in this, in the dilemma where a part of me is saying, "Don't do this; it's not going to work." Another part of me is saying, "Do it; it's going to work." I'm still going to talk about what is this thing that I'm actually doing. I'm still going to make a content on that, but for some reasons, I'm still keeping it low. So at that point, it was very overwhelming. I needed to talk to people. I needed to speak to someone. I needed to speak to family, loved ones, mentors, even mentees. Yes, I needed to speak to someone, but something in me kept on telling me, I was scared of talking to people, because at that point where I didn't know if this thing will work or it will not work. So a part of me was just waiting to hear someone tell me, "Don't do it, it's not going to work." And trust me, I would have just followed that voice. And then another part of me was also waiting to hear, "Oh, you see this, do it, put in the work, it's going to be successful, the world will know you. So, and because I didn't know which one I'm going to get, depending on the person I talk to. Because I remember in my previous video, I think in my biggest, when I said you are your biggest fan or something, or is it taking advantage of a perspective, I said that your family might be there, your loved one might be there, but in some cases they're not the right people to talk to. Not because they don't love you, but because there are some sacrifices that you need to make that your loved one would not want you to pay that price, because of the love they have for you. They wouldn't want you to go through the pain, through the torture, through the rigor, right? So this was the dilemma I found myself earlier this year in January 2024. I was saddled, I was in this point where I was like, okay, who should I talk to? Who should I discuss this with? I'm very convinced that this is what I want to do, but I needed that push. I needed that push to be like, okay, go ahead and do it. And then another part of me was saying, oh, you see this, if you do it, you're going to waste money, waste time, waste resources, So it was a lot of things going, it was back and forth in my brain, and I needed the right person to talk to, but I didn't know the right person to talk to. Now, do I have loved ones? Of course I do. Do I have amazing mentors? Of course I do. Do I have friends who wish me well? Of course I do. But I love them, and I know they love me, but I couldn't trust I couldn't trust discussing this with anyone because I was so scared of hearing someone telling me, be careful, it might not work. Not that such advices are not good, but at that point, I don't know if this has happened to you before, like at that point, I was just waiting to hear that it's not going to work, and then I'll quit. And then I was also waiting to hear, go ahead and do it, and then I would have just ventured into it. So because I don't want to take chances, what I did was, I shut out everyone. I didn't discuss it with anyone. I decided to follow my heart. And following my heart means I decided to go into it. So which is why I called today's episode Shut Out Everyone. When I mean shut out everyone, I do not mean you should shut out mentorship, or you should shut out coaching, or not respect anyone, or not be humble. I mean, there are some times, in a particular time in your life, when you need just you and your God. Trust your God, trust Holy Spirit, trust your intuition, right? And focus. So at that point, I needed to focus. I needed to hear clearly from God than I needed to hear from any human being, whether the encouragement or disencouragement. So at that point, what I did was I lied low, I shut out everyone. Of course, I was still in communication with my loved ones, but they didn't know that I was building this aspect of me. So what I did was to bury myself in research, reading, doing a lot of things. I invested in growth. So January, February, March. Of course, in February I started real talk with Sochi. Then in March it became clearer. At that point, I could say, oh, right now I know what I'm doing. So it was after I finished building to an extent, when it was ready for the world to see what I'm doing, that was when I now decided to talk to people. I started letting people to know, oh, this is what I have been doing. Please, I need your help, your support, So at that point, I realized that people appreciate results more. People are most likely going to encourage you when they are already seeing the results, or when they are seeing success, or when they are seeing light in what you are doing. A lot of people will still see those things and still discourage you, no doubt. But at that point, I felt so comfortable to now speak about it because I felt like I now know what I'm doing. So the people that I started talking to at that point, they were like, oh wow, this is amazing. Oh, this is really a good one. Kudos, go ahead. You are doing so well. Wow, I didn't know you've even gone this far. You've already achieved this. So that is because, so at that point, when you are speaking to someone, it makes it, even if the person would discourage you, it makes it very difficult for them to do so because they're already speaking with somebody who has capacity. They're already speaking with somebody who knows what he or she is doing. They're already speaking with someone who, regardless of discouragement, you would go ahead. So that's what I mean by shutting out everyone. So there's a point in your life when you need to focus. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on building. You don't spill. Don't talk about it. Just unless someone like me, I listen to the Holy Spirit very well. So if you listen to Holy Spirit and you get that direction to talk to someone, why not? Of course you can do it. But when you are in that moment where everything feels not so clear, and you are in that moment where you're going through suffering from imposter syndrome, oh, this is not you, you're not worthy to do this, and then you just need someone to talk to you, and then everything will just collapse. Please, I would say focus on yourself. Just build on your own. Build to a reasonable extent, and then come out and then speak to people. And let me tell you, by the time you have been able to invest in yourself, by the time you've been able to grow to a certain extent, you will begin to know, because the way the growth process, which I have experienced, is it works in a way that naturally you begin to sieve out the grain from the wheat, or the chaff from the wheat. You begin to sieve out the chaff from the grain, right? Amongst the loved ones, amongst the friends and well wishers. So because you've started this, the growth is already in you. You're already in the process. Not like somehow, somewhere, your being, like your conscience will begin to tell you the right people to talk to. You will not, at that point, you will not now be confused on who to speak to. So you now know who to talk to. And at that point, when you are beginning to speak with people, because you've already attained a level of growth, you would be speaking with so much authority, and you sound so convincing that it makes it very impossible for someone to discourage you. So this is the little thing I wanted to say today on Real Talk with Sochi. This is not the long length video that I usually make, but I decided to talk about this because is a step that I took, and it worked for me. So learn to know when to talk to people, learn to know when to focus on yourself and build, pray, speak to God, listen to the Holy Spirit, and then also know the right time to spill, also know the right time to speak, because when you're at that point when you've gotten everything ready, but you're needing that final push, just a little word of discouragement from someone can ruin everything, because we are humans and we have emotions, and sometimes we have little faith, right? We begin to doubt our capacity. So at that point, when that discouragement comes, it's more than enough to ruin or ridicule everything. So thank you for joining me on Real Talk with Sochi today. Please share your own comments. I would like to see your comments in the comment section. Share this video, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Thank you, and bye.